Hey guys, and welcome back to another video with Raph Gaming. The next Kinect has been announced for July the 14th, which means it's only time for some speculation. Stay tuned. So, it's another exciting moment in the Stadia community. July the 14th, Stadia will be holding a Kinect, making it their second one this year, and only 2.5 months since their last one. Let's do a quick recap of what we got from the last one. They introduced their free tier and pro tier, gave 2 months away for free, spoke about the many ways you could play Stadia with no installs, no downloads and no updates, spoke about how they were always adding new features and introduced the next month Stadia Pro games. They told us 5 EA games were coming to Stadia and announced 3 of them: Madden, FIFA and Jedi Fallen Order. They announced games that were coming to Stadia such as Rock of Ages 3, Crater, Wavebreak and Ember. They also announced games that released as the Kinect went live, such as Octopath Traveler, Get Packed and PUBG, which also ended up being a pro game. And at the end of it, they teased the next Kinect with some characters from Awesomest III. With that brief recap, what do I expect? Now I know you want my wild predictions, but let's just get the basic stuff out of the way first. Based on the last Kinect, I reckon they will promote the platform again, the whole no installs, no downloads and no updates, play it on every screen, but keep that to a minimum. They will most likely drop games during the Kinect, tell us a few coming, tell us about a few more first on the Stadias, introduce some new features, possibly even tease the next Kinect. Now you're all thinking, that's very vague and obvious. You're right, it is. So let's make some wild predictions then. Let's start with things I don't think will be in the next Kinect. I don't think anything from the last Kinect will be in this Kinect apart from one game. I believe the Kinect will only be used to announce new games and new features coming to the Stadia and possibly a roadmap. Why? Because the last Kinect was an exception. It was the first Kinect since release and they had just opened it to the public. The last Kinect was their introduction. This one coming up and the next ones after that will set the bar of this one that we have currently coming. With that said, this means I don't think Wavebreak or Crater will be in the next Kinect because I think they're going to release before then. If you look on Twitter and YouTube, it looks like they're gearing up to announce something. Not to mention Crater's website also seems to be under construction, which is a very good sign that something is being announced. So let's take those 2 games out of the equation. Let's talk about features. I think we'll get a mention of iOS support. Why? Because they officially pretty much have full support for all Android devices now, which, whether it's experimental mode or not. Yes, they still will be working on Android devices, but we're getting to the second half of the year, which I don't think is a coincidence. It's time to concentrate on iOS support and even a mention or an experimental phase I can see coming at the next Kinect. I also think they'll talk about YouTube features and how they've been working with the current release games and how they're excited to introduce more by the end of the year. This is also me making a prediction that Crater will drop before the next Kinect. Quick disclaimer, again, I don't have any inside sources. Games. I'm going to talk about general stuff, then tell you the 2.5 games I think will steal the show. At the moment, the IGN Summer of Gaming event is going on and I've seen that many of the games being shown don't have a Stadia logo, and I understand that. That can be quite disheartening. However, I want to say with the announcement of the next Kinect less than a month away, have no fear. I'm going to take the leap and say good things come to those who wait. I also believe that we also learn about new first on Stadia games and maybe just maybe hear and possibly see a visual of a Stadia exclusive. I also want to say that I reckon they'll name drop some big studios like they did with EA at the last Kinect and announce some of those games that are coming from them. Now, let me put some named games to my predictions. I think one of the games that are going to be announced will be none other than Gods and Monsters. Why? Well, last week the demo accidentally leaked onto the store. Now, if I were a speculating person, which I am, I would ask a few questions such as, why is there a God and Monsters demo on Stadia? Who was that intended for? Why would it just be a demo? Surely the devs have access to the full game? Who was... and I think I'm going to leave it there. But you get the drift. Ubisoft and Stadia have a cozy relationship, so I can see a possible appearance from this game at the next Kinect. And the next game I'm going to say is Awesomest III. And not only will I say that's going to be announced at the next Kinect, but it will also drop on the same day. And I'm not stopping there. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it will also be a pro game. Yes, that's right, I'm saying it will be free. And another quick disclaimer, this is just speculation, I have no inside sources. What points me in that direction? Well, in a recent interview, the CEO of Robot Entertainment, Patrick Hudson, he stated that we would have waited longer to make a decision on developing Awesomest III. Google was extremely supportive and anxious to get Awesomest III on Stadia earlier. To me, that speaks volumes, and I'll leave you to ponder that. And last but not least, that half game. I'm going to say that half game will be something we haven't heard about yet. It's going to be a Stadia exclusive. Yes, I said it, Stadia exclusive. Will it be first party or third party? I have no clue, but I feel in my bones that we are getting something special. What are the grounds for this? There are none, but they announced this Kinect nearly a month in advance, so it leads me to believe that they've got something big to show us, and they're leaving us in anticipation. It's going to be a long month. And again guys, I must remind you, I have no inside sources at all, this is all speculation. Those are all of my predictions for the Stadia Connect. They may or may not come true, but what I'd really like to know is, what do you think is going to be shown at the next Stadia Connect? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching guys, and have a great day.